Ayo, back at it again with another video. Thank you all for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Excuse me. So, the Senate has passed a $95 billion aid package for Ukraine, Israel. There's a whole bunch of other stuff in there as well. But I wrote an article titled Americans Can't Afford Gas and Groceries, Yet the Senate Gives $95 billion to Other Countries. Over the past couple of years, gas prices have gone through the roof. Groceries are wildly expensive. There's rent and mortgages through the roof. Everyone's drowning in debt. But the Senate is more concerned about other countries rather than its own constituents. I normally I've had a pretty pro-Ukraine stance on the channel, but I'm just so tired of this war, man. I am just done with it. Yeah, it's fatigue. This war should have been wrapped up a long time ago. There should have been a truce. There should have been a ceasefire of some kind. But Americans can't afford gas and groceries, yet the Senate is so focused on other countries. The Senate today voted on $95 billion away to other countries instead of focusing on the needs of the American people. Over the past couple of years, Americans have found it difficult to pay for gas and groceries. However, Congress refuses to care for its own citizens and instead is going to waste almost $100 billion. Yes, billion with a B. Almost $100 billion. The military-industrial complex is getting rich at the expense of everyday Americans, at the expense of everyday hard-working Americans who are having trouble affording gas, groceries, and rent and mortgage, depending on if you rent an apartment or have bought a home. But the Senate is more concerned about the people they don't represent because their handlers, the military-industrial complex, benefits greatly from this. And the age-old quote from Tupac, money for war, but not for the poor. So if you want to go check out different articles, this was from 4 days ago. Senate passes aid package. Senate passes an aid package. $95 billion going to other countries. Rick Scott voted against it. AP News article. NPR article. Senate foreign aid passes today from the USA Today. AP bipartisan Senate majority passes $95 billion in foreign aid. If you just want to go through it, it's basically just giving away money to other countries. And think about it. If you think about the war in Ukraine right now, Ukraine does not have the numbers. They don't have the manpower to sustain this war for a long period of time. Throwing money at this problem won't solve the problem. The problem is Ukraine is having manpower shortages. Throwing money at a manpower shortage does not solve the manpower shortage. Throwing money and repeating the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. Israel, they're losing too, whether or not the media would even portray that. The media is so hell-bent on portraying Israel in a positive light. Israel's goal going into Gaza was to eliminate Hamas. And months later, they have not eliminated Hamas. So the U.S. Senate decides they're going to spend $95 billion, yes, billion with the B. Basically, they're giving $100 billion away to a losing proxy war in Ukraine and a losing war between Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah and whoever else decides to get involved. As an American taxpayer, it is just so incredibly frustrating that the goons on Capitol Hill care more about other people than the constituencies and the constituents they actually represent. It is beyond frustrating. It is, I can't even begin to express the fact that I'm so upset about this. I literally have a headache, and I don't know, man. It's just so, they spend so much money on other countries. Think about it. Does the U.S. government actually spend $95 billion on the United States? No. They spend more time worrying about everyone else than its own citizens. We have an issue with the border. We have issues with homelessness. We have issues with, drug epidemics. We have people living paycheck to paycheck. People drowning in debt. But no, the Senate is so hell-bent on focusing on other people they don't represent. It's frustrating. It's discouraging, and it's bipartisan. This isn't just a Democrat thing, or this isn't just a Republican thing. This is Democrats and Republicans giving away $95 billion of hard-earned American taxpayer dollars. Frustrating. Money for the war, but not for the poor. Age-old quote, the more things change, the more they stay the same. We're going to wrap it up here. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Deuces.